First, there is a question we will take up. It's an interesting question. And so the question is, Didi Baba says, thoughts become things. So when I'm constantly creating the thought that I don't want this in life, then why is that thing increasing? Okay, so you see that just like this is a law that thoughts become things, so another law is the brain doesn't understand I don't and I do. So the brain, or the buddhi actually, so brain comes later. So the buddhi thinks in pictures. So buddhi perceives in pictures. So when you are creating an image mentally of what you don't want, then actually it's like telling your buddhi that you want it. So you see, just like if I told you, don't think about a green apple, what did you think? So what image popped up? The green apple. So what is the signal going, to your buddhi? It's the green apple. So then you are attracting the green apple. So this is how the inner world works. That is why I don't want, I am not this. This is not the language in which you speak to yourself. So the language in which we speak to ourselves is very important. And connected with this, I will also share something which I have been thinking about for some time now. So I feel that, there are only two states of the soul. One is attached and second is detached. So when you are attached, there are emotions. The emotion could be passion, attraction, repulsion, fear, hate, disgust, any emotion. And all these emotions are the spectrum of attachment. So if I'm attached to something, then I will feel all these emotions, okay? And whether I feel disgusted with something, or I feel attracted to something, or I feel good about something, or horrible about something, it is all influencing me. So even when I say, I watched a piece of news and I felt disgusted, now that news is out there. And although you say that it is the worst piece of news you watched ever, but it has started coloring your personality now. Because the moment you feel disgusted with it, you think that, you don't like it. But whether you like it or not like it, it has influenced you. So when you are attached to, when you are in a state of attachment, then everything influences you. And when something influences you, you may say, I didn't like it. You may say, I loved it. But the moment it influences you, it starts coloring your personality. And so, sometimes you think that you become like the people you love, but you also become like the people you hate. And this thing we don't understand. We think, I'm hating that one, so I will never become like that. No, you will also become like the one you hate. So there are only two states. One is attachment, another is detachment. If I am attached, then I am in Buddhi Yoga with the state of the other. And when there is that Buddhi Yoga, then energy is getting transferred. So you are thinking about that one. You may say that I'm not thinking, I am thinking with disgust, but you're thinking. And thoughts become things. So you will become like the one you're thinking about. So, there are so many There are so many things that, in this world, because of the data science and technology, and of course, people are studying a lot about the mind also. Information, there is a lot of information, and we are living in an ocean of information. And in that ocean of information, whatever you are hearing, seeing is affecting you. It could be something that you're very appalled by, but it is affecting you, and not just affecting you in the sense it is taking away your happiness, but it is coloring your personality and destiny. You are becoming like the one you are having any emotion about. So, this is something that we have to be very careful about, because sometimes we don't understand how this information is working these days. We think that, okay, I didn't like it, so, or I had a negative opinion about something, so then it is not influencing me. No, whether you have a negative opinion about something, positive opinion about something, whether you like it, hate it, are appalled by it, are in fear of it, or you are attracted to it, you are excited about it, everything is coloring your personality, and you are becoming like the one you watch. Okay, so, or what, the one you hear about. So this is something that we have to understand. And what is the solution to that? The solution is being in a detached state. And this is why Baba tells us every day, practice soul consciousness. So practice soul consciousness, and practice that you are not the body, you are not the senses, you are not the ears, you are not the eyes. So you have the capacity to not feel whatever you see, not feel whatever you hear. So be in your Swaman. Your thoughts and feelings come from your place of self-awareness, not from the place of what you are seeing and hearing from the outside world. So that state has to be practiced. Otherwise, there are so many things that people are doing, and it's happening. You see, I saw this one brother, and his father used to complain a lot. So all the time his father used to keep saying that, you're not looking after me, or you're not taking care of me. But according to the brother, he was doing his best, and he was not making a very bizarre assessment of his own duties. He was quite sensible in assessing that he is doing whatever is needed. But there was constant complaint from the father. And then he always told me that, Didi, I'm doing my best, and this is whatever my father wants me to do is beyond my capacity, and I don't think that that is reasonable of him to ask me to do that. So that was all fine. But when the father left the body, this brother became very miserable, and he was filled with a lot of guilt and grief and everything. And this went on for not some days, because some days, okay, you feel that because there is, but it went on for 2 years. And then once he because he is in Gyan, and he tries to understand what's going on in his own inner world also. Once he told me a very interesting thing. He said, Didi, sometimes you logically think that, you're doing the right thing and something, and then somebody's words are not affecting you. But if you're attached inside, somebody's, even the words that are unreasonable are affecting you. And if somebody wants to put you in guilt, they are successful in putting you into guilt. So he says that for the last 2 years, I have been dying with guilt. And this is an interesting situation, because my logical mind completely understands that there is nothing to be guilty about. I actually did the best I could. My conscience is clear. but I have allowed those things to affect me for such a long time that now that guilt is coming from there, and my logical mind and my feelings are very different from each other. And I'm in this struggle and I'm not able to get over the feelings. And Baba always says that, the karma you do will come back to you. So here the karma is not that he didn't take care of his father. The karma is that he didn't stay aware enough to stay detached. So when he was not detached, he was soaking in all the energy. So Baba says that you have to practice being detached. You have to practice putting a full stop to every waste thought every second. You have to be that skilled. Otherwise, we have been messing up our subconscious and unconscious minds for 63 births now. And if we don't cleanse it now, if we don't take care to not draw more rubbish into it, then we will be in great trouble in the final moments. How will we remember Baba and go back home? So this is why in the Murli today also, Baba is talking about being soul conscious. Being soul conscious means, one way in which I practice soul consciousness is imagining that there is a door inside here and I am the master of that door. I have the key to that door, and whatever I'm hearing, seeing, whatever is happening around me, whatever that's other situations or anybody's behavior towards me, I am not letting anything in. I am in that state of peace, consciously discerning and deciding at every step what to let in and what to not let in. Yes, so that so that I am in an uninfluenced state. I'm only thinking knowledgefully and taking in or thinking about things. So let's say, somebody is being very unreasonable with you. So even if you create a thought, how unreasonable, that has affected you. You are not creating a thought that, maybe I did something wrong. No, you're not creating that thought. You're creating how unreasonable, how bizarre, what is this nonsense. You're just creating that thought. But that is also affecting you. That soul has affected you with his behavior. So the formula is don't think. the the moment you think, it starts affecting you. And how do you don't think? Only when you practice a lot of soul consciousness and you have this door closed all the time and you open it only at will. So what you think about is always a choice. So when you don't allow anything to make you think, when you're listening to the Murli, you keep the door wide open and you think about everything that Baba is telling you. And then all day you keep churning on that. And then rest of the things you don't think about. You only think about where there's an action point. Yes, let's say you are complaining about something. So I have to just create a thought and ask myself, is there something I have to do in this situation? Is there something that I have to do to address your complaint? So if I feel that there is no action point, that you're complaining unreasonably, then I don't have to think about how unreasonable you are. I have to just put a full stop and understand that, okay, you can do whatever you want to. And I am just, I am not doing anything which I shouldn't do, and I'm not neglecting anything that I should do. I have to just take a moment, keep my clear conscience, and I don't have to think about why you are doing, why you're pushing it too much, why you are trying to trouble me. So, many people are just sitting and thinking about how other people are trying to trouble you. But that is not your problem. They trying to trouble you is their problem. Leave it at them. You don't think about how hard they are trying, because then you start getting affected by it. So you have to be so careful. And you see, this is the complete opposite of our sanskars right now. Yes, so this is the complete opposite of the sanskars we have created for the last 63 births. So you have to take so much care to create that state of soul consciousness where you are sitting in your state of peace. Peace is the swadharma of the soul. The soul has to always be in a state of just one thought. I am a soul sitting under Baba's canopy, no other thought of the world. All other thoughts only when required. Yes, not like the mind is always thinking about whatever is happening around you. So, this state of soul consciousness one has to create and go deeper and deeper into what I am like. Keep thinking about, how subtle you are. Just take this one point and think about. I was thinking about this in the Amrit Vela, so this is the point that is coming to my awareness today. Baba says, the soul is like a very subtle star. Now think about how subtle you are, and make your intellect go and, try to fathom that subtlety. Yes, if I tell you something is the biggest in the world, yes, then think about how big you can think. Yes, how much big can you imagine? And then Baba says the soul is the subtlest point. Do you know that when we give the course, we usually give this example that just like in the world of matter, atom is the subtlest. Yes, the smallest indivisible unit. Although, there are various opinions today that it is not the smallest indivisible or something, whatever. But until we understood, it was the smallest indivisible unit. Now, Baba says the soul is even subtler than the atom. Okay, so in the non-physical realm, just like in the physical realm there is the atom, so in the non-physical realm there is the soul. And Baba says just narrow your intellect or refine your intellect so much that the intellect can stabilize on something that is so subtle. And then when you can do that, then you can go to Baba. Your intellect can also remember Baba, who is equally subtle. Yes, because if you cannot tune into your own awareness of how subtle you are, you cannot tune into your awareness of how subtle Baba is. For example, can you ruffle the ego of somebody who is egoless? Can you do that? No. Why? Because you have to know ego to understand somebody's ego. Okay, so whatever you know, whatever is there inside can be felt outside. If there is no ego inside, so have you seen that there are some people and somebody is talking egoistically to them and they don't feel a thing because they don't understand it. So if you don't have ego inside, you cannot understand the ego of someone else. Yes, I remember there was this one brother and he didn't have an idea about how, there are good colleges and bad colleges and really bad ones and everything. So he just knew that after graduation you go to a college. Okay, and then after graduation he found admission into a college. And he was in a group of, he was sitting in the group of 5 people and they had the idea about, this ranking of colleges. And then they were trying to make him feel that he got the worst college. Okay, so they were just telling him, if you had worked harder, then you would have got this college or that college. And this brother, he kept saying, but I got a college. So he couldn't. So, these people, they tried for, I think, a good 20 minutes. It went on and they were just trying to make him feel that, he didn't achieve anything. But this brother, because he did not know, he didn't feel. that sense of achievement couldn't be taken away from this brother. And later, this brother, he lived happily, so he had no problem. But these other five people, they were very disturbed with that interaction. So you see that this is what happens when your inner world is operating differently. So Baba says that is why first tune into how subtle a point you are. Tune into who you belong to. So just keep thinking about these things, go into the depth of these things. Close your door. Close your door of, inner awareness, and don't think about matters of the world. And just go into the depths of thinking about your subtlety, your immortality, your peace, your relationship with Baba, your sweet home. And the more you go into the depth of these things, the more you will start having very natural Buddhi Yoga with Baba. Because when the soul is soul conscious, then remembering Baba, because now you know who Baba is, so remembering Baba becomes very, very easy. So Baba says the most important effort that you have to make, primary effort you have to make, is to be soul conscious. And Baba today tells us that I am making you like myself. So whatever is my praise, I am coloring you with my company, and I am also, you also have that praise now. Yes, so Baba says, make that praise your Swaman. When you, so you see in the world, we always talk to Baba like, Baba, you are high and mighty and I am a nobody. Yes, but Baba says, no. Now you understand that Baba is high and mighty, and I'm also Master Almighty. So Baba has given this gift of all his praise belonging to me. And when you sit in this awareness that just like Baba is the ocean of knowledge, I am the master ocean of knowledge, then you are able to invoke from within that latent, crux of knowledge that's there in you, the soul. So the soul has a whole recording of knowledge, peace, love, everything in it. All the sanskars are there. But only when you have this faith that my Baba is a tiny point and he's the ocean of knowledge, ocean of peace, he's the purifier, and I'm also like my Baba, then you are able to tap into your potential of knowledge, your potential of love, your potential of purity. Because Baba says that, you see, every soul has sanskars, and all the sanskars, from starting from Satyugi to Kalyugi, the best to the worst, they are all in the soul. The original sanskars are there, the divine sanskars are there, the worst sanskars are there, everything is there. But Baba says the key to sanskars is consciousness. You tap into those sanskars which you believe you have. So when you start having this faith that, and how does this faith get built? When you experiment, when you sit in silence and try to consider yourself to be a soul, then there comes a stage where you actually experience that I am a soul. Yes, you cannot sit in the shore and tell people that give me the proof that I'll feel good inside the water. Anybody who is scuba diving or whatever they are doing, if you tell them, give me proof that I will feel good inside and then I will dive, you cannot ever feel that. But when you go and dive, you first feel fear, then you feel something else, then something else, and then you ultimately feel good, and then you know how it feels. So similarly, Baba says, dive into these thoughts that, I'm a soul, I'm sitting there and I'm made of peace and I belong to the soul world. And once you start experimenting with these thoughts, then because these thoughts are true, you will start experiencing them. You will start experiencing that which is not a concrete experience. It's not something, it's not based on something physical, but based on knowledge. You will start having that experience. And when you start experiencing that, when you start thinking that I am a soul and I'm Baba's child, and Baba is telling in the Murli that his praise is my praise. So let me just experiment with it. Let me just try to experiment with this piece of knowledge that just like Baba is the ocean of love, I am the master ocean of love. Let me just try to sit in this awareness. And when you sit in this awareness, you will be able to tap into the reserve of love that's hidden inside you. Because all that sanskar is there in you. But until and unless you sit in this consciousness of who you belong to, you cannot tap into your state of being a master ocean. Yes, and then Baba says that just like, everything about Baba belongs to me, so Baba says, my task also belongs to you. Whatever is my task is your task. And Baba says, what is my task? I have come to purify everyone. And what is the method? I am giving everyone the knowledge of the soul, the knowledge of Baba, the knowledge of how to be soul conscious and remember Baba, so that you can tap into your purity. And then, when you emerge that purity, then pure thought, pure action, pure word becomes natural. So this is why Baba says, there is yog before dharana. So you want to have pure thought, pure word, pure act. But how will you do that? Until and unless you tap into your essence of purity by remembering Baba, you cannot have pure thought, pure word, pure act. So Baba says, teach everybody this method. Give everybody this knowledge. Just like, Baba doesn't get tired of talking to us and explaining to us every day. Every day Baba is just, devising new methods to explain to children. So Baba says, you children also should have a lot of concern to explain to everybody the knowledge of the soul, the knowledge of Baba, because you see, there is no knowledge of soul, and about Baba, there is a lot of misconception. So for example, Baba is omnipresent. Yes, now Baba says, how can Baba be omnipresent in the one who is looking for Baba? So Baba says, if I was within you, why would you look for me? So Baba says that, are you worshipping yourself? You're not worshipping, I am not within you. If I was within you, you wouldn't look for me. So Baba says, the one you're looking for and the one who is looking for are two different entities. And Baba says, teach everybody the truth about Baba. That Baba is not like a big Mahajyoti, or sometimes it's also written that God is light. But what kind of light? Very blazing light, blinding light, the light that Arjun saw and said, I can't tolerate it. So Baba says, I'm not like that. I'm not some human being. I'm just a very, very subtle point of light. I live in the soul world. I come from there. I'm not omnipresent. Yes, I don't have a corporeal form. I've come in the body of Brahma Baba so that I can speak to you. I take another soul's body on loan so that I can speak to you. And you have to have faith that not only Baba is a point of light, not only that Baba is, Baba is living in the soul world, but also that Baba has come. And it is Baba who is taking the pain of teaching us every day. And it is Baba who is giving us so much of love and sustenance. Baba is calling me Meethe Bacche. And when you churn on these things, then you will have so much love for Baba, who is doing so much for you. Yes, because sometimes, we don't appreciate how much effort Baba makes for us every day. Because the most important sanskar we have right now is taking for granted. So people run after those who are running away from them, and they take those who are there doing everything for them for granted. So we all have that sanskar. So we complain about the sanskar to others, but we all have that sanskars. So we never acknowledge the one who is not seeking acknowledgement. So Baba says, just notice how much I am sustaining you, how I am teaching you, how I have come for you. And then you will have love in my heart for the one who is, taking so much of pain to, not that he feels the pain, but then, he's making effort for me. So just think about these things today. Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti, Didi.
Om Shanti.
Today Baba said that Farishta is not the one who speaks too much or extra.
Correct.
And this is not the stage of an angel. Angel is very calm and composed.
Correct.
As I heard in stories of angel in childhood, I saw their picture also, and I can relate this very nicely. And only in soul conscious stage can we stay calm and composed.
Correct.
Because our thoughts are in balance with Baba's
Correct.
state. And speaking is connected to thinking first. And thoughts has to be, Baba says, be an avatar of economics. Even thoughts has to be used in economy.
Correct.
Shrestha and positive thoughts, as Baba says.
Correct.
And this will work on our thoughts, I think. And Yog Bal, yes, Baba once also said in one Murli that when you are unmanageable sometimes, and you can't bring your original state into nature, just go and sleep. And I feel that way when we wake up, even during daytime, when we take rest or even morning, that the immediate subconscious is when opened.
Right.
In that state, that is very pure state.
Correct.
And I have experienced that at that time, if anyone approaches or rushes towards me, and even if they tell bigger or smaller thing, I stay very composed. And nothing affects me at that time.
Correct.
And that stage is very higher. It really needs effort to stay in a silence mode.
Yes, so you have to make effort to make your foundation strong. Because even at that time, there are so many distractions and so many things pulling your attention. But if you make an effort to keep your foundation strong, then that effort will pay you all day. So you will get the return of that effort all day, that everything that comes during the day will not be able to disturb you as much.
Amrit Vela.
Yes, yes.
It was like anesthesia all day.
Correct. Om Shanti.
For thoughts. Yes. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Om Shanti.